Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here. Sorry for any echo you might hear. I'm recording this video downstairs. I'm hoping it's a one-take video. This is my thoughts and reactions to Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 24, being announced as the 9th release in Doctor Who, The Collection Blu-ray box set releases. Just go onto the computer. Before I begin, this is actually some good news for the collection, shortly following some, bad news, but not incredibly bad news. I heard in a video yesterday from Lewis Frisbee that Doctor Who The Collection Season 8, which was due to be released on the 23rd of February 2021, Monday the 23rd of February 2021, it was then delayed by 2 weeks to Monday the 8th of March 2021. I'm not sure why. There is a pandemic at the moment and deliveries could be a thing. But it might also because it could be sold out in places because of all the pre-orders. So they might be wanting to make some more. Not sold out completely. I'm hopefully going to be getting it when it does come out. But some places have had it sold out or it's currently sold out. Some with the pre-orders, so they might be getting some more stock in before they release it. That might be due to delay. And to be honest, most of these box sets have been delayed by a little bit. Like season 10, I thought was supposed to come out in June 2019, but it was delayed to July. I think season 23 and season 26 definitely were delayed from September to October 2019 season 23, and December 2019 to January 2020 for season 26, which then made 2019. We were kind of expecting them to come out for a year in 2019, but then the fourth one's delayed to 2020. But that being said, then again, 2020 only got 2 in the first place because the pandemic then prevented them from releasing anything after season 14, which I believe was scheduled for March or April 2020, and then that was delayed to May. Start of May, and was released alongside Series 12. And then there was nothing until the confirmation of Season 8 being the next release, which would be released in November 2020. It was announced it would be released in February, which has now been pushed back to March. And now in January 2021, and now in January 2021, it is confirmed that the 9th box set will be Season 24, which was the first season for Sylvester McCoy's 7th Doctor. And it's got probably the best announcement trailer. Or I say the best, it's almost like a short film. Most of these trailers for all of the box sets, apart from season 12, which didn't have them, because they've got these announcement trailers, and then they've got the actual release trailers, which is more centered around the stories and the release itself. But the announcement trailers will have this little short film included, and they will go into talking about some of the extras a little bit in places. The first one was season 19 with Tegan's airline ones. I really want them to make a season 12 out now one. They should have done that for the re-release that they did in March 2020, and just included that trailer, because these trailers also get included on the box sets. They should just include the season 12 one on the season 14, or the box set, or the one afterwards. Maybe for season, if they do one in time for the season 13 box set, a trailer for season 12 on the season 13 before season 13 comes out, then they include that and the season 13 one on that one's box set. But yeah, but apart from season 12 at the moment, at least, they've done these short film announcement trailers for the box sets, and they've all been really, really great. This one might be the best one. It's definitely the most short filmy of them all, and very much like a minisode in its own right. Like the Ace one was back for season 26's announcement trailer, which kickstarted the return of Ace sort of merchandise and expanded media stuff, with the trailer for season 26, the At Childhood's End book, and the audio in February 2020 she appeared in with the 7th Doctor and the Meddling Monk. But yeah, the season 24 one, I think it might be my favourite at the moment, because it definitely does take the short film angle really well. The trailer angle is also handled really well, of course, but the short film bit is gets extra points. I'm not the biggest fan of Melanie Bush as a character. at least not in the TV series. She's actually really good in Big Finish audios. But in terms of her visual stories, this short film is her best. This is the best Mel has been written and performed. And I think maybe that's due to fan hindsight and age and the years of reception. Season 24 came out in 1987, so and season 23, which she was also in 1986. So it's been about, let's say, 2013, 25 years after 88. It's been about 35-ish years since she made her first appearance in Trial of a Time Lord. Later this year, it'll be about the 35th anniversary, and season 24 is celebrating its 34th later this year. So yeah, it's been about 34, 35 years of hindsight, and also taking the character in other expanded medias like the books and the audios. So I think Pete Matigue has done a really good job in writing the character for this trailer, and how Bonnie Langford's performance in the directing has also been really good. And it was fantastic to see Sylvester McCoy in his costume again. It was great to see it in Five-ish Doctors reboot back in 2013. It was just as great, if not slightly better, to see it here. Gives me that slight bit of hope that McCoy might return for the 60th anniversary if they ask him. He'd probably say yes if they did ask him, but it gives me that confidence he might return for the 60th anniversary in 2 years' time, and he might just get away with looking how old he is and still fit into the costume. He might just get away with it. Anyway, so yeah, I thought the trailer was really great. Pete Matigue does a great job with these trailers. I find he does a better job with these trailers than his Doctor Who scripts. Okay, I liked Kablam quite a bit, but Praxeus wasn't that great. Then again, that was a co-write with Chris Chibnall, so hopefully Pete Matigue will be writing for Series 13, because I would like to see him try have another go at the TV scripts. Then again, we've only got 8 episodes in Series 13, so who would be coming back and how many slots are available? Because no, Chibnall's at least going to be writing 2 or 3 if one of them is going to be a special. Maxine Alderson's writing 1. Ed Heim, which is the one writer from Series 11 and 12, who I wasn't so worried about seeing back, but going to give him a chance because he wrote my because I wasn't too fond of his episodes, especially Orphan 55, but going to give him another chance and see if he can do it with Steve Thompson and redeem himself on the third script without showrunner help this time, Chris. Don't give him any showrunner help. Let's see if he can do his third script without any help, and if that doesn't work as well, then help him on the fourth one. If you're not going to help, then don't bring it back for the fourth one. Don't bring back for a fourth one. Anyway, but that's enough about Ed Heim. But yeah, I like Pete Matigue as a writer. He does some great scripts for these TV trailers, and I would like to see him back for Series 13. But if he's not in Series 13, writing for Series 13, that's fine. Maybe we'll come back another year, because we are reduced episodes this time. But in the meantime, he's got these short trailers to enjoy writing for. He's got plenty of short trailers to write for, and he always does a great job with them. So that's basically the reaction of the trailer. As for the season itself, season 24 might be my second least favourite season of the show. I say second because I'm kind of 50-50 on the season. I don't like Time in the Rani. Dragonfire I used to not really like, but I'm kind of like giving it's alright. It's got some okay moments. It's okay in places. It's got some dull moments, but I won't go bad. I won't say it's bad, but I'll go with mediocre. Although I really, really hate the bits with the little girl in episode 3. Those scenes are pointless. This episode could easily have been 2 episodes if you cut those scenes out. Okay, that was an exaggeration, but maybe you could put some of the deleted scenes back in instead to make up for the runtime. Or these scenes in so that they can actually make up 3 episodes. Yeah, though that was my biggest issue with the story. But the story itself, I won't say it's bad, but I'll go with mediocre, which isn't too much of a popular opinion because this is probably the most popular, or easily considered the strongest, even by default, episode of story of the season. With Time in the Rani, the consensus is that's the worst. Then Delta and the Bannermen, which barely gets talked about, and when it does, there is a massive 50-50 divide. Or you've either got the fans who hate it, or at least dislike it, and you've got the fans who love it, or at least like it. I'm on the love/like side. I know a couple of people who on that side. I know a couple of people on the other side. Maybe this season will reignite fondness for Delta and the Bannermen. Maybe some new eyes will look at it in a fresh new light, like season 18 did when that box set came out. A lot of people went back to season 18 and watched it with a new light and enjoyed it a lot more. So maybe Delta and the Bannermen will go the same way. I really hope so, because I really like that story. However, that does not mean you have to. This is just, I'm hoping more people are going to like that story, but that doesn't mean if they will, and I'm not saying you should. It's all subjective opinion. I like it. I'm not going to force anyone to like it, and no one's going to force me to not like it. Okay? Similarly, I also like Paradise Towers. It's not amazing. It's good. I mean, it could have had a bit more work, but it's good. It's fine. Could have been better, but it's not mediocre. Dragonfire, like I said, I used to hate it, but now I can find it mediocre. There's some bits I hate, but there's also some really good bits. Time in the Rani's awful. Enough said. Done reviews of all 4 of these stories on the Nicholas Payne Retro channel. Go check them out. Well, technically, Dragonfire was a remake of the one from the Universals from 2017, which got deleted. So technically, that one's on the Universals, but go check those reviews out. See the season 24 ranking. Might have mellowed a little bit more on Dragonfire since then as well. But yeah, I'll say that it's mediocre. Although the review is kind of a rant, but that's mainly more. But like with Revenge of the Cybermen and Destiny of the Daleks, which aren't low score, 5 and 4 respectively. But even though they're in the 4 to 5 zone, they still get some rants for certain elements of them. While something like a 3 or lower will definitely be more of a rant about the story itself rather than certain elements. And as for the box set itself, it's going to be 8 discs. 8 discs. I think it's going to be 2 discs per story, or at least 2 discs per story up to Delta, and then Dragonfire's going to be a single disc, and then it's a bonus features disc. I think that's going to be the case, because there's going to be extended episodes, and lots more extras. Dragonfire's might have the last disc as well. It might be 2 discs per story, but there might be a lot of bonus material on the last disc, like season 18's last disc, which was the 8th disc, had K9 and Company, A Girl's Best Friend, included alongside a pack of bonus features, including the K9 and Company ones. And season 23 had a disc per installment of Trial of a Time Lord, Mysterious Planet, Mind Warp, Terror of the Vervoid's Ultimate Foe, and then 2 bonus discs. Disc 1 had extended episodes 1 to 8, which were Mysterious Planets and Mind Warp, and then Disc 6 had extended episodes 9 to 14, Terror of the Vervoids and the Ultimate Foe, plus a few more exclusive bonus extras, including the season 23 trailer, announcement trailer, and season 18 was on its 8th disc. So maybe season 24 disc 8 will mostly be Dragonfire, maybe centered. And then there'll also be a few extra bonus special features that would usually be released on the bonus disc of these box sets. That, or maybe they should have done a 9th. Maybe they should have done a 9th disc. The season 26 is 7 discs. So maybe they could have gotten away with a 9th disc, unless more than 8 discs is a bit too much for them. I'm not sure what the criteria for more than 8 discs is. Because I think some of these seasons, especially if they go back to the 1960s seasons, they're going to be putting a lot of discs in. I calculated some of those seasons might even potentially go up to 14 or 16 discs. That's me, though. I don't know what they would think they at the collection would do. But if we were to put all 7 to 10 stories of a season, plus colour and black and white versions of the animated versions, I calculated some of them could go up to 10, 12, 14, 16 discs. But that's me in my speculative head and not in charge of the business collection site. Some of the other ones, collect stories, will be between 4 and 7 serials, so possibly 8, maybe a 9 or 10 box set for the 7 or 6 stories. Certainly, well, the 7 story ones at least. So that'd be 20 and 21 left to do. 20 and 21, because 20 was the one that was rumoured throughout the summer of 2020, but it's still not been announced yet. There was apparently stuff with Janet Fielding in Amsterdam, but That's not been announced yet. Maybe that'll be the next one. The 10th box set will be season 20, perhaps, because season 8 and season 24 have been announced for the 8th and 9th box sets. The ones they usually do, many of them have come out to be surprises. And I think season 24 is the best one to do second for the 7th Doctor. Now they've got season 26 out as the first one for the 7th Doctor back in January last year. I thought the speculation was the best one, or considered the best by fans, season 26 goes first, and the worst one, season 24, would go last, with season 25 coming in the middle. But I thought it would be better if they started with 26. They should then do 24 next, and then they can end off, because then that's the least popular one out of the way, and then they can end on the high/middle ground with season 25. And if that one might even come out next year, 2023, which is the 60th anniversary year, and season 25 is the 25th anniversary, the Silver Jubilee season. So it would be fantastic to get season 25 out in the Diamond anniversary year at some point. It doesn't have to be specifically early in the year. Considering that we've got a 7th Doctor box set coming up next, my guess is that it might be season 20 afterwards, and then season 22 for Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and then we'll get on. Oh, then again, we haven't had a Tom Baker box set announced yet, so maybe we'll get one of those this year. Then Colin Baker's one, because he's only got one more full series, and then season 21 with him and Davison. So maybe it might be a Tom Baker one. It might be season 20 next, because that's been partially in development, or maybe they might put a Tom Baker one first, so that they can definitely get out in 2021, and then if this other one gets delayed to 2022, then yeah, so maybe actually I'll say a Tom Baker one for after season 24, and then season 20 after that, then season 22, then another John Pertwee, and then we'll probably have that'll be next year, and then another Tom Baker next year. Maybe season 25 will come out in 2022, but it would be really good if it came out in 2023. This will be the 9th box set, season 24, so they've got 11 more, so they can spread out these other 11 across the next couple of years, especially the Tom Baker series. They seem to be trying to get a Tom Baker one out each year. Season 12 in 2018, season 18 in 2019, season 14 in 2020. Just about. They just about got that one out, plus the season 12 re-release. If I was a betting man for 2021's Tom Baker release, I would say they'd either do a Graham Williams era release, because they haven't done a Graham Williams produced season yet, 15, 16, 17. My guess is 17 was rumoured back around December 2018 time, along with season 26. But they might do season 16, like how Trial of a Time Lord is one whole season. Season 16 is a story arc over the course of a season. It's not like it's not a 26-part serial like season 23 is a 14-part serial, but it's just got a story arc over that season, and the DVDs have it as the Key to Time Story 1 on little stickers. Like when Trial of Time Lord DVDs came out, they had the stickers episodes 1 to 4, The Mysterious Planet, for example. So on the Key to Time, the Stones of Blood DVD, for example, said the Key to Time Story 3. So they could do season 16 in the vein of season 23. They might do season 17, because that one's been rumoured for a while, just like season 20. Or they could do season 15, which is a complete left field. Unless it's for the next year, in which case it could be for K9's 45th anniversary, in which case they might do 13, 16, or 17 this year, and then 15 next year, possibly. That's just lining up. They might do 15 this year. If they wanted to do a popular one, it would be season 13. If they wanted to do a Graham Williams era one, I would say 16 or 17. 16 in the vein of 23, 17 because it's been rumoured, and also it's got City of Death and Douglas Adams. Although I don't think the season itself is very popular, and personally that is my least favourite season. However, like with season 24, I would be excited to see it in a Blu-ray box set, and similarly I would be excited to see missing episodes like the Space Pirates, if that was animated or the episodes were found. I would be equally as happy to see that one, as maybe not equally, but I would definitely still be happy to see that back, or animated like some of the other classic series stories, even if the missing episodes, even if it's my least favourite story of the show, I'd still be excited for an animation version of it, or if the episodes themselves were found. So I would be excited to see season 17, and I am excited to see season 24 as much as I would be for season 16 or season 25, or season 22 or season 20 or season 9 or season 13, season 21, season 11. I'm just going to list them all now. 16, 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which are going to be the last ones. I think seasons 1 to 6 are going to be the last ones if we go there. However, the earliest possible season 1 to 6 one, earliest possible 60s one, it looks like for a bit of a while it's going to be season 4, because the animation team was looking like they were going to focus on season 4. And yeah, they're both completely separate projects, but their collection box sets might still be waiting for some of the seasons to be complete, so that they might be able to release a complete season box sets on them. And I think now, currently, the earliest possible 60 season to be released, season 6 is probably the most complete in terms of the episodes. But with the Abominable Snowman being rumoured, and the Web of Fear episode 3 coming up soon, season 5 just needs to win space also finished, and then season 5 could come out as a complete season. That season would be complete. Similarly, season 6 just needs the Space Pirates animated, so seasons 5 and 6 are possible. And for the First Doctor's season 2, you just need to do reconstructions of the Crusades 2 missing episodes. But yeah, that's speculative. I'm not sure what's coming up yet. So yeah, that's my reaction, my thoughts to season 24 box set. Sad to hear that season 8's been delayed by 2 weeks, but it's only 2 weeks. It's nothing major. It might be for delivery reasons. It might be so that they can get more in stock for release on the for release date, and they need another 2 weeks to do that. These box sets usually seem to be delayed anyway, so I don't think there's been a date announced for season 24. My guess is that it was going to be scheduled for May or June, and it might be pushed back to June or July, depending on how close they want these releases coming out, because the releases haven't been much more than 3 months, I think. 12 to 19 was a 5-month gap, but I think that was when they were making sure 12 was went down well, and it went down extremely well. So they thought, yeah, let's carry on. Let's go. Let's the next one, Fifth Doctor. Yeah, and it has been ages since the Fifth Doctor Blu-ray, so I think his one should be the next one. He should have the next Fifth Doctor season should be the 10th box set, or the 11th box set, if they want to make sure they get a Tom Baker one out in 2021. Again, especially if season 24, like I said, could come out in June or July, they might want to make sure Tom Baker's 2021 box set comes out in 2021. But and then Peter Davison's will follow. So I would say the 10th or 11th one will be season 20. Especially if then that also gives them more time to go and film in Amsterdam again. Well, they probably will. Well, if they can go to Amsterdam, they might be able to later in the year, depending on what's going on down with COVID, etc. They might be waiting to finish those extras before they announce it. We could do season 21, I guess, in the meantime, and then that also covers Colin Baker this year. But anyways, that's this is all speculation. We'll see what they come up with, but yeah, season 24's date, as I do not believe has been announced yet. But sorry, I was going to talking about the gaps themselves. I think season 18 was supposed to be February 2019, but it was delayed to March, so that would have been a 2-month gap. But then it became 3. Then it was 4 months from March to July for season 10, although I think that was scheduled for June, so that would have been a 3 as well. And then 3 again from 2 from July to September. That was delayed to October, so that for 23. So that's another 3-month gap, and then another 3-month gap from October to January 2020 for season 26. Again, that was supposed to be December, so that would have been a 2-month gap as well. And then it was December to May. That was a 4-month gap. Well, 3 and a bit, because it was late January, early May. They might have been aiming for an April release, and it would have been about 3 months, and then it was early May, so about 3.5 months for that one. And then season 14 to season 8 would be from May to March. That would be about 10 months. So that'll be the biggest gap. So whether they'll get season 24 2 or 3 months after season 8 is uncertain. If I'm guessing it might have been trying to aim for a June release, a May or June release, and it might go for early June now that season 8's been early March. It could be a late June, it could be July. If I'm going to guess, I would go with March, June, September, December, maybe slightly earlier, possible, partially because season 8 is was supposed to be in February initially, and also partly because then they could get 4 box sets in 2021 if they're able to. Like I said, 2019 missed out on that. So they might be able to get out 4 box sets in 2021, depending if they're able to, especially with the COVID situation. The later box sets might not have as much of an issue as the earlier ones, and same for next year's ones. So I'm going to guess that the next box set after season 24 will be released late summer, early autumn, and it will be a Tom Baker season, possibly one of the Graham Williams era ones, because we haven't had one of those yet. I'm gonna say 17 based on rumors, but also 16 is easily speculative. Well, 15 and 16 are just easily speculative, but I'm going to say 16 would be the most likely in terms of popularity, and it would follow up the veins from season 23, but 17 has been rumored since December 2018, so they could go with that, and also Douglas Adams, City of Death, and they can include Sharda on that release. But 15, I think, would be a good one to do for 2022, probably about the autumn time, to time with K9's 45th anniversary in October. So, yeah, I think they should do season 15 for next year, 2022, to time with K9's anniversary. Of course, if they might want to do something else next year, they might want to do season 15 this year. I think 16 would probably be the best one to do this year, but 17's been rumoured for a while. They might want to do that. I think 15 would be best for next year. 13 is, of course, the other Fourth Doctor series season they could do out, but they've got 3 Graham Williams ones to do, and they've already done 2 Philip Hinchcliffe ones. 13 is one of the most popular seasons of the Fourth Doctor series, alongside 12 and 14. But, yeah, one of the most popular of the show, and it's one of my favourite seasons, but I think 13 needs to wait a little bit, because we've already had 2 Graham Williams we've had 2 Philip Hinchcliffe seasons already. It's time to get some Graham Williams stuff out there, and I think it's going to be 16 or 17 to start with, and they'll probably do 15 next year. And whatever they don't do this year, they'll either do next year or they'll do after season 13, which I think will be the penultimate release, because they won't want people to wait too long to season 13, even though it would be a good one to end on. But I think they'll do season 13 second to last, and they'll do one of the last Graham Williams one last. So that might be 17 then, or 16 if 17's this year, or 15 if they don't do 15 this year or next year. That's my guess. That's for the Pertwee ones. I think season 11's probably the most likely to be next, but then we thought that before season 8 was announced. And apparently season 8 was the hardest one to restore. We knew season 7 to 9 were going to be difficult to restore, but apparently season 8 was the hardest, and they've managed to do that. So maybe they might be able to get season 7 and 9 out sooner than we expected. 7 or 9 could be the next one, or season 11 could be. So it's going to be one of the odd ones, because the 2 even one's out and one's coming out in a couple of weeks. So the next Pertwee one after that will be an odd numbered one, definitely. 7, 9, or 11. I'm expecting 11 for probably because it's easier to restore than 7 and 9 are, and I think 7 will actually be safe to last. Then again, they might do that with 9, to be honest. They might save 9 to last so that they can get the popular season 7 out sooner, depending on its restoration. Of course, Spearhead from Space they don't have to worry as much about, but the other stories might be a bit tricky. And Peter Davison, I think season 20 will be the next one, unless they're waiting till this whole COVID thing's flown over so they can do their Amsterdam featurettes, in which case 21 might even come out sooner. And that might even be season 22 for the Colin Baker ones, depending what they want to do. So 21's releases is probably going to be one deciding what happens with season 20. And season 20 may be due to whether they can get these extras done because of COVID. We can see that the more in-studio ones, like in Conversations, that they were getting for seasons 8 and 24, and not in Conversations, the reaction ones, where a couple of actors and people sit down and watch and react to some episodes from the season. Those ones are having screens, or if they're like Sacha Dhawan and Anji Mahindra, if they're in the same households, they don't need the screens. But yeah, they could doing some socially distanced ones for season 8 and 24's ones, so they might be okay with season 20. Being, well, I don't know about, well, the filming in Amsterdam is probably the stuff that they're wondering about. We'll see what season 20 goes. I think season 21 will depend on what happens with season 20. Season 22 may not need to worry unless it's going to be released the same year as season 21. Again, in which case, maybe that one should come out, and maybe that one should come out sooner. If season 20 is not coming out in 2021 and they don't want to announce 21 just yet, then I would say release season 22 and get Colin Baker's second season out sooner than later. So this is all speculation in the post-season 24 section. So that's it. That's it. I'm definitely finishing up now. But before I go, some questions for anyone who's actually sat through this whole more than half an hour video. It wasn't supposed to be more than half an hour, but sorry. So questions for you guys, if you'd be free to answer them. What do you think of season 24? I don't want essays. I don't want massive long essays like I know some of my friends do in comments. They do massive, like, big chunks of their thoughts. Just summarize, or a few opinions. Yeah, you can have quite a few sentences, of course, but don't do an essay, or don't even do big chunks. Don't do several chunks on the stories. Just do some small-sized opinions. Maybe a big paragraph for the whole season, but with individual stories as well. But don't do an essay. Secondly, how excited are you for season 24's Blu-ray box set, with your opinion of the season and your opinion of the collection box sets as a whole? And how excited are you for further collection box sets beyond seasons 8 and 24? And which ones do you think should come next? Which ones do you think would come next? Which ones would you like to come next? And what are your opinions on season 8 being delayed? For me, I find it's a little bit frustrating, but it's only 2 weeks. It's not a major delay. Some of the others have gotten similar amount of time delay, and other ones have been around a month or so. It's only 2 weeks. Some of them, I think some of them got 3 weeks, maybe. Season 26 got a whole month for some reason. So, yeah, and also, would you like to see some of them reissued like season 12 was? Because some of them are getting expensive to find, although I would recommend CEX to purchase them. Yeah, they might be a bit bruised and battered, and maybe you might find some scratch discs. I got 6 out of the 7 ones I've got upstairs from CEX, and my season 18 was in not bad. It was in bad, but it was a bit damaged condition. However, seasons 19 and 14 were in really good condition. I got season 12 from eBay at a cheaper price than what I would have gotten on eBay. I actually found one of the cheaper ones. It was a second edition, but it was it was really good condition. In fact, I think it was even wrapped, so unopened. So I managed to get that pretty decent price for how big they're going, and especially as these box sets are now being an extra £5 on release, so they're going to be even more pricey when they start getting the limited release category, when they start starting to get harder to find and more expensive for the ones that are that you can find. But I would highly recommend CEX, although some of them might come a bit battered and bruised. CEX do offer some pretty decent prices. Some of them aren't too much expensive to what they were when they released. Some of them, and most of them are I think all of them are under £100 for each release. So some of them are in the 50s, 60s, some of them are in the 90s. So you can do, I highly recommend CEX. They've got them in stock. And if you can find them at your local shop, once the shops are open again, then I definitely recommend picking them up and getting them if you can. So, yes, that's a recommendation for CX. As for the new releases, I haven't purchased anything from Zoom or Zavvi yet, but they seem to be good places to go. Zavvi's got season 24 listed, and it has not run out of season 8, unlike Zoom and Amazon yet. I don't know, I think eBay's got to put some listings for season 8. Don't go to eBay if other places are offering £45 or less. In some cases, Zoom's doing about 43 for theirs, or did. So if the box sets are still around the 40 to 45, £50 range, and the same for season 24, get them there. Don't go to eBay and pay 60, £70 for them when you can get them somewhere else for 40 to 50 if they're still available. And I think maybe this delay is going to help with making some more available in time for the release date. But don't go to eBay unless there's absolutely none left in stock. And similarly, CEX would be a good place to go after, maybe give it a few weeks. But don't go to eBay unless nobody has it in stock anymore, because eBay, you're paying a lot more than what you will be for on Amazon, Zoom, Zavi, or if it comes to CEX. And that's even before it goes into extortionate levels. And like some of them have gone into extortionate levels. So anyway, so please answer those questions that I already staged below about season 24, as well as your thoughts on season 8's delay. And thank you for watching this. Sorry it went on too long. It's nearly 36 minutes. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.